gonna
Hey guys, Holy Moses in the building. Just to let you know, guys, welcome to a very special episode. I'm not on location, but Taco Berry is on location. Wes, where are you at, buddy? Take it away, man.
Well, right there, man. Hopefully, you can hear me all right and everything else. But we're at Colorado Customs in Anaheim, California.
Damn, dude, that's awesome. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. How's the weather out there?
Oh, it's nice and sunny, maybe about 70 degrees. Beautiful out here.
Okay, awesome. So if you guys are just, this is crazy. I know we're not going to have a lot of people viewing at the moment, because it just came out of nowhere. Today, I'm not on location. Wes is on location, and he is at Colorado Customs, and hopefully in a little bit, he's going to go, and he's going to take over for today, and we're going to join him as we go in the building. So whenever you're ready, man, hopefully we can get some stuff. And check it out. Show us what today. Damn, dude.
All right, man.
All right.
Oh, here we go. There's Michael.
How we doing today, guys? Good morning. Good morning. I have your test subject right here.
All right.
Nice.
I'm sure you guys can open that when you head on back.
Okay, cool.
And it's a beautiful wheel. I'm not going to spoil it unless, maybe at the end or whatever. But if not, we'll do it together. We'll open it up when I get back in town and all that. So.
Okay, cool.
Well, I'm just gonna kind of pan around here, just as you walk into the warehouse here at the place.
Assembly station right now, steering wheel, car wheels, etc. All the fun stuff is over there in the machine.
CNC machines. Sure, let's go take a look, man.
All right.
Come on by. I'm sure you've seen these before. Okay.
Yep.
You know those. Looking on some caps right here. Oh, Lincoln logo right there.
Nice.
Different variation of Ray's logo. Okay.
Oh yeah.
More detailing on that one. Okay.
That is awesome.
But they're both winners. Okay. They're both winners.
Man.
There's a blank steering wheel, right? Just ready to be cut. All right, 16 right here and
14 there.
14 right here.
Dang.
All right, so the one I sent out is a 16. All right,
Okay.
we're going big. All right.
Okay.
Of course, as you can see, the grooves on the back.
Got the finger grips. Absolutely.
That is awesome.
So,
we're cranking the setup right now on some car wheels. We'll get that rolling. So we're in the setup phase right now. We have some caps that we're working on here for second operation.
Awesome.
Cap.
More caps.
Machine in house here. And we just have our line. We have our line here, orders that we're working on here. So we're
It's an assembly line for the wheels.
Essentially.
Nice.
So we're working on those. These are our standard forges, and we have custom, forgings for a different profiles, so you can
And what
see the differences there.
what exactly are the difference between the two then?
Well, for our forging, it's generally flat. You can go
Okay.
ahead and put a ruler on top, and it's pretty flat. It's got a tallish pad for most caliper clearances, top length, right? That one's good.
Yeah.
So it'll fit. Any of our wheel designs, Caddy, Lincoln, Fire, you know, South Park, you name it, right?
So it's a different
It's in here,
set up for the different type designs then for the wheels. Okay.
and they're all different profiles too. So like the shape of that one, right? That's going to be like a slotted boulder, right? That's a different profile than, let's say, like I believe that's going to be a segundo, right? And you can see the shape of it is
Yeah.
just they have different shapes.
Okay.
So at this stage, then we can go ahead and machine them, but they have different profiles, right?
So essentially you set the profiles first. Got it.
And this one is for a different order altogether. This one's just a different criteria. This is just
Looks like a concave type setup.
yeah, that's going to definitely be a little more on the concave aspect of things.
Dang.
Right? Then we can only achieve something like that with this forging as opposed to our flat forging, and we can only do so much.
Right, right. I would say what, those probably almost close to 100 pounds.
I'd say maybe like 40.
Oh,
40
okay,
pounds.
okay. They definitely look like they've got some weight to them.
Yeah, not 100. Definitely not 100. Okay, maybe like 2 of those. Here, but this is just the back at this point. We have our scrap yard. Nothing fun. No frills here. Okay.
I've got a forklift, guys.
Oh shit.
Here's a slab of material for a custom order. So,
That's how it starts.
when it needs to meet a certain requirement, it has to be like this.
Gotcha.
We have to go that thick because they want the highs and the lows, and we have to get all the depth in there.
So essentially then this big piece right here, this is kind of where it starts.
Uh-huh.
Then you got the hoop set up like you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then at some point, the hoop and that design, whenever it becomes a design, get put
Exactly.
together.
Yeah, we'll go
So-
ahead and we'll get the barrel. Right, we'll adjust the backspace accordingly, let's say, right? So right now we have a 4-inch backspace, 2, 1, and 1. Right. Go ahead and put on the table, right? And when we're ready to go ahead and drop it in place, we'll go ahead and add some heat. Have this surface turn,
Mhm.
and once we add heat, it'll expand. That way we can go ahead and drop it in place safely. Turn the heat off, then it'll constrict. It'll hold it, it'll hug it,
Yeah,
and then it'll be ready for welding on the backside.
gotcha.
So that's our process for our 2-piece weld wheels.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And those are all welded in house.
He was asking if they're welded in house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All welded in house. The only thing we don't do, would be the polishing or chroming, powder coating, right? That all we send all that outside. But the machining, the assembling, that's all done here. The welding.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Valve stems in house, okay? So we valve stem independent if it's on the front or on the back, right? We just go ahead and valve stem them in there.
Gotcha.
Behind the spoke, in the window, you can kind of pick and choose where you want it.
Where you need it. And then
Yeah.
you guys, looks like you balance.
Yeah, we go ahead and balance them, make sure, no funny business.
Right.
Okay, we're not going to send you a square wheel, okay? So got to make sure everything, runs true. And
Right.
if it looks a little funky, then we have to go back and see, all right, why is it not spinning correctly? Is the hoop oversized or, X, Y, Z? Maybe there's something on the backside that's not making it straight.
Yeah.
I'm glad we changed the compressor because the last one was
super loud.
So we would not be able to have this conversation right now. So thank you, Ingersoll, for your compressor. We just have some extra caps over here. We have our traditional, hex caps right here. Colorado Custom logo.
Nice.
Hex. Now we're gonna go blast into the plast. We haven't done any of these in house, but these are for those 8 lug wheel covers. right? This is,
Dude, that thing's massive.
older than me, honestly.
Wow.
Probably from the 90s
Yeah.
Dang.
or earlier, right? So,
Awesome, yeah.
I'm 92, but, still, this is definitely a piece of, something in
History.
the archives for sure.
For sure. And basically, you have the ring, and then the center cap goes in, correct?
Yeah, yeah. So for our hex cap application, we're going to go ahead and you have your flange, which is
Okay.
a piece that covers the bolt pattern. You have a wheel over here. Some wheels over here. There's a- if anyone's gonna need for a 6 lug Telluride, okay, tell us because they've just been sitting here.
There you go.
All right, so 7-inch flange. Go ahead and get your hex cap in there, right?
Sweet.
With your
So
approved wrench. Okay.
So that's what my
Go
wrench
ahead.
is gonna look like.
Go ahead and just left you loose it in here.
Yeah, essentially, that's the center design before it goes into the hoop, guys, if you can hear me.
Wow.
All right, so there it is. Good to go.
Nice.
All right, don't mind the shots. It's waiting for its time to shine. Okay, that's all. That's all.
There you go. And he said this design is available if anybody's looking for a Telluride.
Telluride 17's 6 lug. If anyone
So-
needs it, let me know. It's waiting
I
for
need
you.
it. I need it. I need it.
Let me know. Okay.
That's tight.
Like I said, we have a few more additional caps over here, but
For the different style wheels.
exactly because we have our hex caps, snap caps. We got bullet
Oh, dang.
caps here. So if we want to change it to look, they're pretty good for like a Mercury.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a more
Kind of the hot rod look or whatever.
yeah, a more hot rod look, right? It'll, just with the cap alone, it'll just give it a change. It just looks like a
Dang.
different wheel.
Damn, almost looks like a dually.
There
Right?
you go.
Gives
So,
it that dually look.
we have different caps, different variations. Too many options. We got a spike cap right here. This is the
Oh,
one that was featured on Sick Chops on his Leavenworth on his Mark II. So, it's we have many
Dang.
different variations. Our cap. This is the one that we went ahead and did. That was featured on Jay Leno with Hot Rods and Custom Stuff in Escondido. Right, we did
Okay.
our cap for them. And we just went ahead and did a badge recess. They sent us their badges and just made sure they were able to be integrated here. But
Gotcha.
if you go to the website, it's that orange, um, it's like an orange and yellow Buick. It had like gold flake, I believe. I'm not sure. Go check out the website, but you'll definitely take a look at it there. Okay.
nice.
But many different variations. 9-inch cap. This is pretty common for our Lincoln designs with our larger cap.
It's almost flush, but there is a little bit of
Yeah,
an
a little
indentation
bit,
into it.
a little bit of dip in there, right? So
You guys can see that.
once you go ahead and put on the wheel, it definitely makes it pop. But when it's alone like this,
Yeah, just
it's
kind of hard to tell the
it's hard to
detail and
tell,
depth.
right? But many different caps, many different variations, a lot of stuff in there. So that's that. Like I said, we machine in house, and we got materials ready to go for some other projects. These might be, I'm not sure what these are for actually. These might be for our larger floater caps, or maybe for the spike caps, like the one I showed you.
Okay.
Because those are about 9-10 inches. I think we have a Buick order we're working on, so we're
Gotcha.
trying to emulate that small cap.
Does he have, Wes, can you ask him if he has any that are like set up in the machine that we can check out, like how they set a machine up?
Well, I was going to say, I know they were setting some stuff up, cleaning some stuff here. So I think they might be about ready to run some new runs here. So
The one we're running right now would be some caps. That's about it.
okay.
That's cool. Hey, that's still
We got
badass.
caps running. That's about it.
Oh, that's so cool.
There you guys go. The CNC machine.
Damn.
The R caps, and we're working on that raised logo right there.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to end up like that.
From a small
There.
piece of aluminum. Damn. That's so cool. And how long is that?
How long does the process take?
Because this one has 3D, right? It probably takes about maybe like 25 minutes, give or take.
25 minutes or so.
So, well, if it's a standard engraving like this, this is probably like, I don't know, like under 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes.
So pretty quick then.
So these are much faster in comparison to 3D, but you can see the detail between the two, when you get up close and personal, right? I mean, and they're both winners, but
Yeah,
you can see one had a little more time on it.
definitely. Versus just the logo itself.
Yeah.
Oh.
It looks like you just
That one just finished up.
Oh shit.
Yeah, literally.
Actually, I think it's this
So
one
cool.
right here. So we got one of these.
Okay, so
All right.
it wasn't the
That's
Rays
this
logo,
one.
just
Yeah.
the Incest logo, but
Mhm.
just finished up off the machine.
There we go. We'll get on the next one.
Wow. And then the wheels are the
Billet
same.
caps for your billet wheels.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
okay.
what was that?
Are the wheels the same process?
They were asking if the wheels were the same process.
Pretty much.
In the cutting part, not the.
We have a different setup to go ahead and put them, because right now we were set up for motorcycle wheels. We ran a motorcycle wheel this morning,
Okay.
so I think we're just prepping a setup
Prepping
right
for
now
a wheel.
to do some car wheels. But we're focusing on shipping right now, so I'm not sure if we'll get to it right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Oh,
maybe
okay, that's no problem.
around end of day, give or take.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard him or not, but he was saying they just finished up a motorcycle wheel off of theirs, so they're cleaning it on up. They said
with that motorcycle.
they'll probably get to the regular wheels closer to the end of the day.
Oh, that's cool.
We went to polish this morning. We sent it out.
Okay, okay.
Okay, sorry. You missed it. Okay, you missed it.
All right.
Wow.
That's pretty much it. It varies what we do on a weekly basis here. Sometimes it's, I think 2-3 weeks ago, we were just focusing on steering wheels, so there was a lot of movement there, steering wheels, and I think the prior week we were just trying to finish up on some car wheels and 3P. So those kind of fluctuate with
Yeah.
what we're trying to take care of that week.
Gotcha.
You know.
Excuse me. Instead of major mass production, you guys are just focused mainly. Once you get the order, we're focusing on that order, go through it.
Exactly. So we won't just do like, let's just stay on steering wheels, forever. It's like, all right, we have some car wheels to go ahead and finish. We have some custom caps to finish. So, we'll be fluctuating between setups, X, Y, Z. So that's where it's more on the custom side and not just, mass production. Like, all right, let me just make 1,000 caddy wheels, right?
Right.
I could, but that's not what the orders reflect.
Right,
So
right.
we have to change accordingly.
And I was going to say that also keeps the inventory production or overhead costs probably way down.
Yeah, so we don't stack a giant amount of inventory. I don't have millions of dollars in inventory just kind of stacked. We just get
So whatever's
there.
there.
Right.
So whatever wheels are in the background is what's in the background, right?
Yeah, pretty much what they've got here. Yeah, in the background, it's it.
That's it.
So
Yeah,
And that's it. Okay.
I think I have a set of Impala wheels that I think they're on the rack right now. The door didn't go through, so I have one set of Impala wheels on the shelf just randomly. We usually don't have anything, on inventory because everything is custom made.
mid-90s Impala? Mid-90s Impala?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
On the shelf, I can show you.
All right, cool. Let's go take a look.
Let's check out all those. Those are badass.
All right.
Whoa.
Right. And I was going to say, just here's a good rendition or with the wheel design and the hoop.
Wow.
After it's gone through the torch process, you can
Okay.
see it welded.
Oh shit.
I'll come back around here. He's going to show me the set of wheels here. Or the wheel design. Oh,
Oh,
dang.
that's sick.
Right. So
My
this
God.
is just randomly, on the shelf, but for the most part, everything is made to order.
Yeah.
Like I said, when we get that order, then we'll go ahead and batch them. Like, all right, we have some 20s to run for next week. Let's focus on that.
Nice.
So these are 22.
22s.
Oh shit.
Those things are
Those look
beautiful,
clean.
man.
Good.
They look
Good
literally
lookers.
factory.
Oops.
They literally
Nice.
look factory.
Yeah, it literally has got the factory design, except it's all billet aluminum.
Mm-hmm. That's all
Damn.
polished finish with the replica cap that we do here, and we go ahead and make this custom resin badge. We can do, different colors. I think we had one where he wanted blue or wanted
Nice.
burgundy on it. So
And hopefully you guys can see even through the plastic wrapping, the polish.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, dude, it's
Oh,
beautiful.
Yeah, that was clean. That's a beautiful wheel. Damn. So whoever has an Impala gotta scoop those up.
Yeah, 22s,
yeah, they're just
ready to go.
They're just chilling here.
Look at that, all in plastic, looking beautiful. Damn. So that right there is like where they're ready to go out, or is that just those are orders that are getting ready in the process of them, right? Oh,
Yeah, they definitely look like they're, ready to get boxed up or whatever.
those are sick.
There's a chrome Tahoe. Had a slight issue with fitment, so I think the game plan is we're just gonna make a billet polished version because we have control with the two piece. The chrome components,
Yeah.
the inners and outers,
Not
are a
so
little more
much.
difficult to secure. So we're just gonna make this into a polished version and get the right fitment for our customer and just get them taken
Nice.
care of.
And if you guys can see that he said that was a chrome finish.
Yeah, these are first. And you can see, I'll flip this around. You can see the hardware on the back plate.
That makes the three-piece like you were saying.
Okay.
Three-piece. Right. So you have your inner, the piece that goes inside, your outer, and then you have your wheel center. Right. So if we look at it like this, right, you have your inner, your outer, and then it sandwiches the center in place, and that's your three-piece wheel that we are able to chrome, no issues because we can chrome them independently of each other.
Dang, man, that's a nice looking wheel.
Hell yeah! That thing was clean.
19 for a Corvette application.
19-inch for a Corvette application.
Okay.
But they're going to end up making it, a two-piece polished design?
Just do a two-piece polished version of it, and these will be, we'll see. We'll see what they'll go on.
Nice.
Another set on the inventory. Just,
Right.
very, very rare instance, but, it will happen,
There's some other designs there along the wall.
Yeah, I got another Impala over there. We have a Talladega right here. S5, or S5, I believe that's the Manhattan. And those are just old, very old designs. Got a Lincoln up there, Lincoln.
Oh wow.
And then actually, that's even a classic design right underneath.
That's
There it is.
it's a Valdez.
The Valdez.
Yeah.
Or no,
Mystic, it's directional.
Mystic.
Yeah,
Mystic.
the Mystic, yeah.
Yeah, because it looks like a Valdez.
Yes. But it's got the twist, so that makes it the Mystic.
Yeah, that's what I
Valdez is straight.
Oh, and I'm assuming some motorcycle wheels?
That's a motorcycle wheel, yeah. So we used to do a lot of motorcycles before, but time has changed. We have a lot of competition,
Right.
and I think just they go for really cheap nowadays. And the new bikes already come with nice looking wheels, so I don't think people are going crazy over. Oh man, I need to have some nice wheels because they're already nice.
Right, right.
So not too much movement on the motorcycle aspect, unless they want something custom. Then they'll call us.
Nice.
Wes, Burb says, you get those wheels, I'll never be able to polish them for you.
Which ones? The Mystics?
Yeah, he goes to that.
Oh, take
Those
that wheel.
are clean. So they just do everything right there all set up. That's tight.
Yeah, basically comes off the CNC machines down that way. They'll come on over. I believe they've got a polishing station back behind the wheels that they do in-house and everything. And then, actually, CNC then put the wheel together. And then they send out polishing from there. So, or depending on what you want, obviously the chrome, they make three-piece wheels for those and then go from there. So,
Send some out to powder coat if they want like gloss black.
and also out for powder coat. That's a back wheel design.
That's the back of the Stella.
Stella.
Right.
Okay.
That's on a Cadillac.
Right there.
Adam Cap and badges. Right.
Nice.
Right. Very classic. Timeless.
They're a mom and pop shop, Jay Bird.
On the caddy, right? I
Says
believe.
he needs a job there.
Oh, there's another one.
There we go.
That's clean. I like that.
There we go. It's shipping out today.
And this is basically final process before it actually goes in the box.
Final process. We'll go ahead and, it's foam wrapped face on the back, so that way, it's sealed in place. Go ahead and put it in the box in a double wall corrugated box, so that way, it's extra protected. And go ahead and probably put the cap on the side, just because on these designs,
Yeah,
you
you
have
don't
to
want
take
to
the
fall
cap
out.
off,
Yeah.
then you have to put the wheel on. So we'll just package the cap separately, and we're heading out to I think Illinois, and then from there they're going to where is he? He's overseas. I'm not sure exactly where. I have to double check.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
We can at least ship to Illinois, but we can take care of the rest. Germany. They're going to Germany.
Going to Germany.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
Dude, wow.
that is insane.
That'll be good.
So, is there where are the ones that he was talking about when we where they're super raw, like once they're already done before they?
Oh, like a raw center.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hold on.
like when it's all raw, like where you're like, oh yeah, this is how they went there before we send them out to polish. Like,
Well, I was gonna say, I think that Telluride design art. Oh, that would already been polished. Okay, sorry.
I mean, here's a raw center.
okay, they looked already pretty clean. Like they look.
Holy crap!
So that's
Yeah.
raw.
And if you notice now is that this is on there before the polishing's done? Then
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can
These
see
are the machine lines.
I don't know if
When
you
they
can
polish,
pick
they'll
those
go
up.
and
Yeah,
smooth-
yeah, I could see
smooth it
that.
out.
Okay, so that's basically essentially what it will look like right when it comes off the CNC, before it would go to polish or powder coat or anything else like that.
Oh, okay.
Is this a design before this then?
Yeah, so this is just a see-through version of the caddy.
Oh,
So
okay.
we went ahead and did a more 3D detail in between the spokes, because you only see a fraction of it here.
Right,
But now we went ahead and took the entire
the
spoke
back
out.
end. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
That is awesome.
So if somebody wanted a wheel of that, like the one on the left, you can just stick that in a hoop and call it a day, and weld it. If somebody wanted that design.
Yeah, somebody would. That's essentially one design, and then this is. Excuse me. I know Michael was saying something. They can try to get like in-depth deal or whatever, and that's like with this wheel, where you can actually see it cut.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of all of the material in the back
Mm-hmm.
like that, you take that backing material essentially, and then you give yourself basically a 3D design.
Jay Burb says that looks like a fun place to work at. I think he's trying to get a job, Mike.
Yeah, it's never a dull day over there. It's always something to do, and it's very, I say it's an easy environment. We're not too difficult. Just on ourselves, right? That's about it. My boss is a hard ass. That's me.
So, quick, Wes, what's that in the back? The backpack, those behind there.
Back behind here,
Yeah, those stacks. Are those just more wheels?
some older wheels here.
That's just a mix.
Kind of got that classic Chevy
Sugar
design.
City right there. We got a whiskey. We got a Paradox right here.
Some of the old school wheels.
Yeah, I think maybe these were on the display, but when we moved, I think we just kind of shuffled things around, and we've just been so busy with everything else, we haven't had a chance to, put everything.
Yeah, no, I
That's
get
on
that.
us right
So
there.
cool.
That's on us. So we've kind of just been chilling here, but they work really good for, someone needs like a test fit or a test wheel. We'll just go to this section first. It's a Paradox with the Cadillac engraving on the hex cap right there.
Oh, okay.
And that makes sense instead of having to produce a wheel.
Exactly.
Have something that's
yeah.
already made. Figure out, okay, do we need the offset more positive, more negative,
Mhm.
deeper dish, whatever the customer would want.
Yeah,
This is kind of the starting point.
pretty much. I'm like, you know what? Let me go through my pile. I think I have something. Let's send you something and try out the fitment. So we
Right
don't
on.
have anything new.
Burbs
If we
asked
have
if there are any
If
six
we have
slugs in there.
No, I think most of these all look
Oh,
like
five.
5 lugs.
Yeah, mostly 5. The only 6 lug was this other center right here.
That one,
Yeah, the Telluride.
the Telluride. There you go, Burb. That's mine.
Thanks. 6 lug right there.
6
Yep.
lug, 17-inch wheel.
There you go, Burb.
There we go.
But I already called dibs on that.
They're fighting over your wheels already, Michael.
Now, here you go. 17. They're Telluride. 6 lug. Well, we just have to figure out, what offset we're going to go ahead and use. We have our standard pad here, so this does have a big bore. Okay, so as far as bore centric, it should be. We got like a 4-inch bore, give or take. So hopefully the application is around 4-inch to
Yeah.
keep it hub centric. If not, it'll just be lug centric.
Right.
Okay, so still could be usable. Maybe.
There you go, Burb.
Okay.
Okay, is there a Telluride that's already on the shelf that you have, like, on the rack? That somebody already purchased, ready to go?
No, I don't have a Telluride on the shelf, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. As when you guys were walking by the rack, I was looking at the little wheels.
Looking to see what might be there.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. No Telluride, no, unfortunately.
That's a big ass hoop.
Yeah, I think that one's for a motorcycle.
Yeah, we got some motorcycle applications over here.
Oh, look at that.
Most of these things right here are just old motorcycle inventory.
Oh, what design is that?
That one is the Talladega. Some names share, similar
Right.
similar names, but they're different designs, right? But like we can make this into a car wheel,
So
And
that's
vice versa.
essentially a motorcycle wheel?
Yeah, motorcycle wheel.
That looks sick. That'd be a badass car wheel.
Heck yeah. And he said they could make it into it. A little bit of work.
Yeah, so any car wheel design we can make into motorcycle, and vice versa. Any motorcycle design that we have, we can put into a car wheel.
Nice.
You could have the matching car wheel, motorcycle wheel, steering wheel.
Man,
The list goes on.
depending on how many toys you want to have.
Exactly. You can only drive one of them at a time.
That's true.
All that. And those are all.
That is
Dude,
just
that
flanks,
was sweet.
motorcycle flanks. So this is where we start.
All that.
Got to finish some programming to run this guy over the weekend, but this one's this is an 18.5.5. I think the program we have is 18.4, so it's not going to be compatible, but we'll get that ready.
Try to work that out.
Heading over the weekend or Monday.
Nice.
And what's that one on the plastic? The one on the right of the. Yeah, like. No.
Or that one?
Yeah, that's another motorcycle wheel?
I think just 3-piece components.
Okay. So it's the 3-piece wheel. It's just the outer. Whoa.
Ah!
All good. All right. For a project. All right. So no worries. All right. Very durable. Okay. I believe this is the inner. Okay. So
Okay.
if you're looking at it correctly, it'll be
Oh, okay.
like this. Okay. But this is chrome right now. Right. So I'm missing the other 2 components to finish it.
Gotcha. So that's the back half of a chrome wheel.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Wow.
22 by 6.5.
Damn.
Dude, it's beautiful, man. Whoever does you guys' chroming, they did a darn good job for you guys.
Good job.
Yeah.
Damn, that's clean. Wow. And Burbs. If he's got earlier he walked them. Wes, you showed him the steering wheels. Burbs like any steering wheels? Yeah. They already passed that. Wow, look at that. All on the shelf.
Okay.
I have on the shelf.
All right. He said actually we can go see some more steering wheels since somebody mentioned something.
Yeah,
And
but
actually, really quick, since we're on over here, what exactly along the wall here is
These
that?
are the motorcycle hubs.
Oh, okay.
that's
The
cool.
component you need for your motorcycle wheel to make sure it fits on your axle or your forks. So there's different lengths and
Yeah.
dimensions X, Y, Z depending on what your bike it is. So it's not just like a one size fits
So that's
all.
the finished product for a motorcycle wheel.
Yeah, it's like it's for the steering wheel you need the hub adapter, right? That's
Gotcha.
the adapter for the
For the
motorcycle.
motorcycle wheel. Gotcha.
Mhm. So you have your bearing side and your rotor side, and all that fun stuff.
Cool. Wow.
Centers that are back from polish here, we'll go and assemble those next week.
All right.
Oh, there's the infamous rack.
I was gonna say
Play, right?
probably better to hit it from this side because the sun might.
That's the infamous rack.
The infamous steering wheel rack.
Yeah.
He's kind of just been, hanging out for most of these designs.
Right.
You know,
Oh, okay. And there's a custom one.
Too much action here, but just for reference sake, as far as size, you have a 14-inch split with the top half. You have the billet ring with leather, and then you have on this side you have the same size 14-inch. That's a fire, right? Solid. It doesn't have that removable ring, right? Which is the one I sent you guys is a 16-inch solid. That's the sample that we have heading your way. And then we have different sizes right here. We have, I believe I think this is 18.
I was gonna say it looks bigger than the 16.
Yeah, 18 for the Peterbilts, truck drivers. And we have, different wrap configurations. We do a full wrap where you wrap all the way around, or this is a little more intricate because they went around every single spoke. That one is probably the most difficult one to do.
Oh, wow.
But based on the design, it has enough room to go in between. But if there was less distance between those spokes, then we probably wouldn't be able to
Probably,
get in there.
wouldn't be able to
and-
wrap
and
it
wrap
for
it.
sure.
It'd be a little too busy. Okay, a little too busy.
And then, do you guys happen to? Because you were mentioning the billet
Oh,
ring
yeah.
before leather.
Yeah. So the rings. Each ring has an origin, right? So, here's a split right here. Here's the actual billet ring, right? So,
Oh,
there's
wow.
there it is. In the machine, it'll just go ahead and part this off, and
That'll stay. Yeah, I was gonna say that would stay till it's ready to go back
exactly,
on,
right.
and then
So
machine it whatever design they'd want.
exactly.
And then once it's done, you put the ring on.
Yeah, like let's say I want to split, I want a red wrap. Okay, perfect. Let's cut the pattern, send up the polish or comb or pattern coat, wherever it needs to go. And then when it's ready to get wrapped, right, okay, let's send out a
Send
red
the ring
wrap
out.
to go ahead
And that would be the 14-inch right here.
that's a 14-inch right there.
And then these would be what, 16?
16s.
Wow.
Then the
we have
finished product.
different color wraps right here. That
Oh,
would
nice.
soft, red, navy, tan, gray, black.
Yeah, common colors.
Fine. Yeah,
Yep.
16s here too.
I don't know if that's something we can see. Obviously, you can tell one's a little different in color.
Yeah, here it's a private label, but it's like a gold, it's like a 14 karat gold or something, 24 karat.
That is awesome.
So it just all kind of depends on
And that's got the
the
hub built
application.
into it, or is that?
It's just wrapped in there.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so everything's separate, right? But no built-in hub per se. It's just
Gotcha.
At that point, it's just assembled.
Okay. Because I was wondering, I'm like, wait a minute, everything's in there for sure. So,
Yeah, no, it's just
so those are basically a finished product ready to go.
pretty much. You have the horn button, you have the horn assembly, the hub. The only thing it's missing is obviously the leather. Right?
Okay.
But when it's complete, we just
Yeah,
wrap it
throw
up.
that on there or whatever.
You know.
Perfect design. And then that looks, is that a 14 again, or is that a little bit
Yeah,
smaller?
14. I believe this is our vine or vine design.
So pretty kind of classic.
So yeah,
Three.
classic looking thing here. Got a banjo.
Oh, that one's
full rack
cool looking.
banjo right here.
There you go.
I wanted one of those. Those are clean.
Dude, that looks
Right.
dope,
So,
man.
you know, at least with that type of leather wrapping, you know, like I said, they went in and around through the design. So
Yeah.
a little more intricate on the wrapping. I'd say the one way to do it would just be to wrap, you know, probably this top section just to keep all that, to keep the
Open
design,
polish,
you
yeah.
know, open. But you can have it your way, right? We won't tell you no unless it's really not doable.
Right.
Like right here, you see how they made that big pocket, right?
Yeah.
They didn't go in between every single spoke because it'd be too difficult to get in there.
Right.
You know, way too difficult. It wouldn't look
Even if you've got a fine hand and a decent size
no, there's,
needle, yeah, you're
there's
still
not
not.
enough room in there.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Sometimes you
good.
just kind of have to know when to say, well,
Yeah.
we'd like to, but this is what we're going to have to do
Yeah,
for
but
it.
you know what? Actually, we can't. Okay, so
All right.
it's very rare we say no, but just like at that point, as far as you know, what's doable and not, you know,
Right.
we'll let you know at that point.
Wes, Nico says that he didn't know there was so much detail and work into how steering wheels were made. He didn't know that what the process was, and he said thanks. He didn't. Now he knows why they cost so much.
Of
Right.
course, yeah, because you know, there's different sizes, there's different configurations, and you know, there's different, you know, with all the different designs that we offer, you know,
Oh,
you
that's a
have
cool design.
you have a full face design, right? So you know, it takes more machine time, more polishing, XYZ, as opposed to, you know, let's say you do a half design, but now you have better visibility on your gauges,
Right.
right?
Like you were
So
talking.
at that point, it's like you gotta kind of pick and choose what you want.
Gotcha.
You know, I want half design, I want 5 spokes, 7 spokes, so.
So basically, yeah, you've got, well,
Mhm.
I guess kind of go back to
Yeah, you can grab
that would be the half design. And then kind of a half design there. And then that would be a full design steering wheel.
Nice.
Here's a switch cock. This is a
Classic
usually, you know,
design.
this is a 3-spoke. You know, the switch cock is a 3-spoke for the most part. So,
Yeah.
you know, it probably wouldn't look good as a 2-spoke. You know, so we just made it into a full 3-spoke, and
Oh,
you
okay.
know, you'll still have, you know, gauge access.
Yeah.
You know, because the windows are just so large. So at that point, I think they just, you know, Colorado Custom just made it, you know, into a 3-spoke, just so you know you will see through the
Yeah.
steering wheel. You know, so 16-inch solid, you know, polished.
Beautiful design.
Different variations. Too many options.
Right.
So, but that's what we're here for. It's all custom, and it's in the name. You know.
Yep.
And I believe I have a raw forging of what it looks like in the start.
Oh,
So
wow.
this is the steering wheel, right? This is your forging,
Wow.
right? So you know, it's not, you know, no thin piece of stainless, you know, it's gonna bend on you. You know, this thing is gonna,
Solid block.
yeah, it's a solid piece of, you know, billet at that point.
Right.
And at that point, we go ahead and we whittle this down. You know, we cut out the finger grips. We'll go ahead.
So
and take
that's
the
literally the raw piece
Yeah.
that you guys start with.
Exactly. This is the starting point right here.
Holy crap.
So from here to there, you know, definitely a few processes.
From there, essentially to there.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So got a few processes, but you know, it's all easy. It's just, you know,
Put it on the
go
machine
through the
and-
list of operation. You know, order of operation.
Right. There's always a process.
Absolutely.
Damn.
You know, you're getting a good quality product that's gonna outlive all of us, really. You know,
Yeah.
it's gonna be here for a long time.
That's awesome.
Wow.
My math's just got
Damn, dude.
some projects here we're working.
Nice,
on here,
nice.
But,
Sorry if I'm not supposed to film it. Just let me know.
yeah,
We'll walk around it.
Maybe not on these. Okay, let's keep the camera up.
We're going to ignore that last bit, right?
All right.
Yeah, omit. Okay. But yeah, got a lot of, you know, got a lot of steer wheels around the shelf. I have a bunch of 18. So if anyone's on the need for any 18-inch steer wheels, I have probably close to 100 steering wheels in there.
He's got an overstock of 18, so if you guys need them, 18-inch
All
steering
right.
wheels.
There you go, guys. You heard it. You need an 18-inch
I'll
steering
get you
wheel.
guys a really good deal on those because we don't push too many 18s nowadays. It's more for the Peterbilts and
Yeah.
big rigs. But
Shit, or
hey,
a
you know what?
tractor.
I'm gonna find a way to fit this 18. Let us know. Okay, we got something here. If you take it from the shelf, we'll get you guys really good pricing. That way,
Where's
it'll
the
have some kind of purpose.
All right, cool. Where's the area of the actual like the hub piece when you guys send it? I want to see that. I saw it on the rack.
The hub piece for
the
Yeah.
oh, for the steering wheels.
Yeah, because I saw it on the rack, but I
The
didn't know
one
if you
right
had a section for that, like an actual.
And
Like,
checking the info.
yeah, I saw. Yeah, there it is.
So
Right.
that's your hub adapter right here.
Yeah, the hub
Okay.
adapter.
So that's your hub. There's different, heights and spline diameters,
You guys make
X, Y, Z.
And those are made there.
We have a secondary source that we use just when we get caught up here with our operation. So either we
Okay.
make them in house or we have one of our partners go ahead and have them do it for us.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
Depending on how busy we are. Like, hey, you know
Okay.
what? We need this quickly. I can't tear down my machines right now, but if we have some time, then we'll go ahead
Then
and
you
just
go
cut them
through.
here.
So it depends on the work volume
Yeah.
at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But yeah, I would assume you guys still stand by the product, even if it's
Oh yeah,
sent out.
absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it has our stamp.
And then this is the 9-bolt.
Yeah, so that's the 9 bolts, which is compatible for our 9-bolt steering wheels. You'll see this one right here is exposed, so you can count the number
Oh, there you go.
of hardware right here. But all the ones that we do are 9 bolts, and I think all the other aftermarket companies, for the most part, they do a 9.
Okay.
But some might
What
do a
about a
5 or a 6,
I was
right?
gonna say I think 6 was pretty common.
Yeah.
Nico says, how many of these rims or steering wheels can be cut at once, or you have multiple machines cutting them at one time?
At once, I'd say, just because we're always doing different operations, we're doing steering wheels or motorcycle wheels or car wheels. I'll say maybe one machine is doing car wheels, one machine is doing steering wheels, one machine is profiling some wheels. So it won't be like on the production lines, like, okay, we're Chevy or something, and we're making a vehicle, after so many minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
Here it'll be like, okay, within the hour, maybe we cut, maybe one center, 2 steering wheels. We can profile maybe 4 wheels. So it all just kind of depends on what we're doing that day, right? So it's not a general like, we're producing these many wheels a day, right? Well, as far as machining goes, we'll probably finish a set a day. We're here for 8 hours. If it's let's say it's 2 hours per wheel, right? Then we finish that set barely.
I was gonna say.
But if it's more time, then maybe we can at least run 2, and then we'll leave that third one on overnight, and then finish it by tomorrow.
Gotcha.
So that way we kind of just take advantage of after hours,
Right.
especially on those graveyard wheels that I was mentioning on the podcast. If it's taking 8 hours, all right, let's finish
Probably gonna be done in the graveyard.
and leave that for the end of the day. So that way, when we show up, it'll be almost done
Right.
cutting, cut at that point, so we can run the next.
Damn.
Mhm.
Wow. Wow, dude, that is awesome. Look at that.
And they also have tires. I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's full in order. Okay, we're just waiting.
And,
a little bit of everything.
And that's the whole, like, do they got a separate showroom or an office, or they just do everything all in that giant building?
It's mostly all here. Our showroom right now is storage, right? So we don't get too many walk-ins, too many local clientele here. So it's more machine shop based. It's a little, it's not that clean in the office, right? Just we're getting papers in and out. But we try to at least make sure the product speaks for itself, and at least as far as the machine shop, it's probably the cleanest part of the shop.
Oh, yeah.
My desk is full of papers, so you don't want to see that. There's no need for that.
That's awesome. Yeah, wow.
A lot of online orders, I would assume, and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like that, or call-ins.
Yeah, for the most part, everyone does call. Right, it's very rare that I don't have contact with anybody. I'd say Yeah, maybe 1 or 2%. I have no contact with them at all, but for the most part, I do speak with them and get all their information and see what they want and
Yeah.
just take care of them, right? Because
Cool.
it's all custom, so we want to cater to that specific request.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
Totally makes sense.
Mhm.
Wow. Dude, well, thank you, dude. This is a great tour. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you guys for coming. Like I said, we don't have too many visitors, so we always here, open arms.
Well, I definitely appreciate your time, Michael.
Absolutely.
All
Yeah.
right.
Awesome,
Hell
guys.
yeah.
Thank you so much for stopping by, and I gotta ship some things out today.
All right.
All right.
Well, we won't hold you up any more longer.
Guys, make sure you take your test out.
Definitely got to get the wheel.
Grab the box.
That durability test. All right.
All right, go grab the box while we're still live.
Kind of damage.
Yes, hey, right there.
We can house. And there will be damage, okay? But at the end of the day, will it break? We'll see.
Awesome. There you guys go. There's the finished product inside the boxes. So that's basically what they see before you guys get your wheels.
Nice.
So
Hell yeah. Thank you, Mike.
thank you again, Mike.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for stopping by. Have a good day. Have a good weekend, and stay tuned.
All right. Appreciate it very much.
All right, cool.
All right, Moses.
Cool.
Thank,
All right.
thank you guys.
No problem. As we're walking.
Walking
All
out
right.
to the thing.
Yep. All right, Chris.
There we go.
Whenever you're ready, I want to thank everybody for this special episode. We want to thank Wes, who's on location. Thanks to Michael at Colorado Customs. Thanks to them for welcoming Wes and letting us go take a little bit tour. Wes, dude, awesome. Thank you.
Dude, I'll tell you one thing. It might not be the biggest shop I've ever been in, dude, but they've got some beautiful products inside, man. And the process they do, props, dude.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So, hell yeah. Once you get back, we'll do an unboxing of the product.
Of the steering wheel?
And then we'll
All right.
go from there. So, on behalf of Holy Moses and fucking West Tackleberry, we want to wish you guys an awesome Friday. And, dude, can't wait to see you when you get back, homie. All right?
All righty.
All right. Take it easy,
Guys, thank you.